Are you a new real estate investor, just beginning, or already seasoned and struggling wholesaler or cash buyer? You're in the right place. Each week, I pick a random house off the internet, I analyze it for a cash deal and a creative deal. Whether you're starting out or already seasoned, this podcast was specifically designed to give you tools that you can implement right away. Welcome to the Corner Barn. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy, second generation investor and realtor with 19 years in the business. When I created this podcast, my goal was simple. It's to help beginners and struggling investors close their first deal or their next deal, all while using low to no cost tools to help you analyze properties and craft strong offers. This is the weekly deal analysis. Let's get into the show. I need a favor. Can you hit that like button for me? I would really appreciate it, and it helps the channel out a lot. Now, let's get back to the video. In this week's episode, we are headed a little bit north to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 5523 North 55th Street. It is a 4-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,176 square feet, and they are asking $189,000. Let's take a look at these pictures and see what we can see. And that gutter is really full. There isn't one. I'm leaning towards it's full though. Time of year. All right, so we got our LVP flooring. It's got central, at least heat. Got some can lights, ceiling fan. That is a lot of green. I like the kitchen. Got your basic standard shaker style cabinets. Good backsplash. Looks like there's some old carpet in that room. You did a real nice job on this bathroom. No, it could be new carpet. Just bad lighting with the camera, I guess. Pictures really aren't telling us much. Unfinished basement, block foundation, sump pump. Another picture of the sump pump, laundry sink, floor drain, garage out back. All right, not bad. Overall, pretty clean. Doesn't look anything too fancy, but let's keep digging. They've been on the market for 30 days, really not that long. That's obviously we know it has a 1-car garage, built in 54. Property details, Form 1, newer roof, good, water heater, central air, remote control ceiling fans, open May, da, 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 da. And what's property history? So they bought this in 21 for $107,000. Good for them. Property taxes 2464. Not great, not horrible. A little higher than I'd probably like to see, but let's keep digging. They've been on the market now. No adjustments in price. Sold in 21. They bought it in 21 for more. Looks like they bought it for 82,000. Good for them. Permits. Well, that's pretty cool. It actually shows the permit information. There's 2 electrical permits and an HVAC permit. And let's see what we see on home value. All right, so Core Logic is telling us 141. I know them. Quantarium, if I'm saying that right, I hope. Saying 187.5. Median list price in the area is 166. Average days on market is 46. And here's some of the comps here. So bigger house, one less bedroom, sold for 161. Lot smaller house for 102. This looks like one street over, sold for 187. Bigger home though. 140. 140. I think we're going to go with 150. Using the 161, the one and a couple of 140 range. I think we're going to say our ARV or after repair value is going to be 150,000. I'm going to write that down. That is 150K. All right. Got a lot of competition in the area here. 182, 180, 160, 170, 190. Under contract. 175, 180. Another 180. And they're all bigger. Just because they're under contract doesn't mean they actually sold yet. All right, so that tells us a good bit. So yeah, I think we're going to stick with the 150. And so we're going to pull out our calculator so we know that anytime we're offering a cash price, I'm offering 70% of ARV or after repair value minus repairs. I don't see any repairs needed on this property, so we're just going to leave that at 0. 150 times 70% gives us an offer price of 105. All right, now we are going to jump over to the InvestNest and analyze this thing for a cash deal. I've got it pulled up here on the InvestNest, and my evaluation I think was pretty good. At least the InvestNest is kind of dealing with. The InvestNest is agreeing with me, kind of. So they're saying it's only worth 140, which might be true, might be a little high at the 150. But either way, our cash price, we're offering the 105. I will have a link to the InvestNest if you want to try it out. You get your first week for free and 50% off of your first month if you click the link in the description below. Skip tracing, they do include skip tracing. I'm really not interested in buying this property, so I'm not going to bother skip tracing it. But if you don't know what skip tracing is, click that button, and then it gives me all of the seller's contact information. Finance details. They got a loan for 61. So, yeah, no, they bought it for 82. Good for them. Location. Nothing crazy here. Details. Again, nothing crazy here. All right, let's analyze. We are going to call this just the address. Purchase price, we said our cash price was going to be 105,000. Our closing costs, we're going to offer to pay both sides. I average that at 4% to each side. Our lender is going to charge us 2 points, whether that's a DSCR, debt service coverage ratio lender, or our hard money lender. If you're using a traditional lender, you're probably not going to have these points. If you do, they're going to bury them and call them something else. We said our improvement costs were going to be 0. We're going to leave our down payment at 25%. We do want to push this out to 30-year amortization schedule. And investor rates, we'll leave it at the 704. I think that's roughly what they're at right now. All right, our rental income. So the InvestNest is saying 1,092. What did Realtor say? Well, I'm new to using Realtor, and it took me a little while to figure out where the rental pricing is. So this will give us a comparison for our nearby rentals, just to give us a rough price. There's almost 12, 11, 13, 14, almost 15, 19. I think our 1,000 is going to be a little low. But to confirm these numbers, I'm going to jump over to the HUD site, also known as Section 8, and figure out what they're willing to pay. This is the HUD fair market value site. Essentially what it says is what HUD and or Section 8 will pay the most amount of per bedroom. So for a 3-bedroom, this is actually a 4. They're saying it's going to be 1701. Realistically, we'll probably land closer around 16, but that number is still going to be better than what the InvestNest is saying. And to play it a little bit safer, we're going to treat this as, you know what, we're going to stick to 1600 for rent. So we're going to plug that in over here. And remember, always, always, always check with a local agent or property manager in your area to confirm these numbers. Property taxes, we're going to leave those alone. Insurance, I think it's going to be 125 a month, which is just 1500 a year. Our property manager is going to be 10%. Our tenant is going to pay all of our utility costs. War chest or reserve fund. So that's 5% for repairs and maintenance, 5% for vacancy, and 5% for capital expenditures or CapEx. Those are your big ticket things. Thankfully, this one already has a lot of those things replaced, but we're still going to put that aside just in case. Appreciation rate at 2%. I like to increase my rents anywhere between 2 to 2.5% per year. Plan on holding it for 10 years. And remember, we are real estate investors. We don't pay full commission. All right. You ready to see what these numbers look like? I need a favor. If you're getting value from this, would you hit that like button for me? It really helps the channel out, and I appreciate you for it. Now, back to the video. Boom! $343.58 per month. This is a good cash flow rental property. So for $32,000, you can make $343 a month. Cap rate, if you follow that, it's more of a multifamily thing, but it hits, generally look for anything over about a 7 cap. DSCR, they look for at least a 1.2 predominantly, so this one well exceeds that. Cash on cash return is almost 13%. Return on investment is almost 22%. If you follow the 1% rule, it more than hits. Here is another thing I love about the InvestNest. Breaks all the figures down and kind of shows you where your money's going to go. So we're starting out at almost a 13, and by halfway through, we're a little over 16. So that's a pretty good cash deal right there. Now we're going to do my favorite part and jump over and analyze this thing for a creative deal. This is my creative calculator. You can get it off my website, christhompsonteam.com. It's a free download. The link will be below also. So we were saying our ARV is going to be 150,000. And we're going to go with our offer price that the InvestNest threw out at 140. Remember, it's creative. And we're going to see if we can get away with a 4% interest rate. To figure out our PITI, or principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, I'm going to jump over to Bankrate. This is Bankrate, one of the free tools I use. It's just bankrate.com, but I'll also have a link below. So our offer price is $140,000. I only want to put 5% down over 30 years. Interest rate we said was going to be 4%. And our zip code is 53218. And our property tax, 205. And our insurance is 125. So that gives us a total payment of $965, and that's going to be principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So we'll carry this number back over to the calculator. 965. 965. We said our potential rents are going to be 1,600. Yeah, I like this one even better. And I'll show you why in a second. So that gives us a gross cash flow of 635, 240 into the war chest, 160 to the management company, and a net profit of $235. Our cash to the seller is going to be that down payment of $7,000. Agent commission, it's only been on about 30 days, so I think we'll throw them $2,500. See if we can get away with that. There are no assignment fees because we are not using a wholesaler. Closing cost is that same 4% carried over. Cost of renos we said are going to be 0. 2 months of holding is just going to be 2 months of this mortgage payment here. No arrears, and a good transaction coordinator will cost you about $1,500. So for $18,000, you can collect $235 a month versus the cash side where you could spend $32,000 and make about another $100 more, $125 more. For me personally, I'd rather keep that money in my pocket and take a little bit less monthly. So in about 6.5 years, and remember, this does not include any rent raises. Like the InvestNest is way better software than this calculator that I created on a spreadsheet. So we can get that 6.5 probably knocked down to about 4. And for me personally, that is a great return on investment. If I can have that original 18.5 back within 3 to 4 years, I'm probably going to buy that deal. I don't know anything about Wisconsin, so I'm not buying this one, but maybe you will.
Hey, real quick, can you hit that like button for me? I appreciate you. Thanks.
That is going to do it for this episode of the weekly deal analysis here in the Corner Barn. What are your thoughts on 5523 North 55th Street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53218? Good cash deal and a good creative deal. What are your thoughts? I would love to hear them. If you would, drop a comment below, and we will see you next week.